Hello, good afternoon. That's not great. That was just showing right before stream. Hold on, let me fix this. Let me see if I can fix it. Okay, fine. I have to unplug and replug in that entire thing. Hello, Bemero. Hello, Albert. How are you doing? How are you all doing today? What do you find, Sylvie? Oh, you're upset because the door is mostly closed and you want to go out? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Kitty cat wants something. Wants to go out. The door is right open. You can just see. If only I could explain. You have a paw. You could open it up. You're chatting with friends about the official Rest Discord on Discord. Don't they have like a meta channel for that? I feel like they do. Oh, look, and now everything's sort of like in a weird state. But that's okay. We'll have you up. All right. Moomy, hello. How you all doing today? Happy Monday. Happy Monday afternoon. All right. So I brought food for Zilby down here. And he came down, he ate it, he was super happy, he purred the entire time. And then I sort of like mostly closed the door to try to keep some warmth in here. And he's like, no. I came down here for food, not to hang out with you on stream. Today I'm heading back. And so he just immediately noped out of here. So sorry, no cat right now. Maybe he'll come back and join us later, but possibly not to. All right, so last week on Friday, we submitted this code to CodinGame for the Mad Pod race. We were in Bronze League and we are trying to get out of bronze and get into silver, and so we put it in there. We basically beat everybody. We got pretty quickly up to the boss. We beat them, and then it said it was gonna be like 39 more minutes or so until we got promoted. So we went ahead, we ended the stream, and then sometime later that day, I got an email saying that not only did the bot successfully get ourselves into Silver League, it also beat all of Silver League, and now we're in gold. So unfortunately, we don't get to play with shields, as in like only shields, because we're on to the next thing. That one little change of offsetting the target by current velocity was insane. It took us both instantly from bottom of bronze straight to gold. Did you get to gold too? Nice. Great job. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. It's like, oh, and this is what I mean by like problem solving type stuff. It's like, I would never have thought of trying to do that. I was trying, well, or rather I was thinking of trying to do that, but in not the right way. Whereas like usually there's like a simple little trick that if you know what you're doing, or you sort of like have a little bit of ideas of like motions and how motion really works, and how aiming really works in physics, like, oh man, it makes it so much easier. So I took a look at the description of bronze on Friday when I'm like, what happened? What are we up to now? So let's take a look at how we're doing now. We're not doing super well. At first I was like, oh look, we're 5,594th in bronze. That's pretty good, right? That's pretty excellent for not actually like for having a code that only reaches silver. However, if we do take a look at our code here and we play it, the only reason we're that far up is because my name starts with a B, I think, or maybe it's like halfway, like, you know, where sometimes starts in first, sometimes second, and basically we're crashing. like we crash. Yeah, I'm figuring we're gonna have to rewrite because like we just instantly crash, and the fact that we're in 5,000th place out of 8,000 basically means that there's a good half of the league that doesn't have working code. So that's good, I think, but I think we need to start completely over from scratch. So the first thing I want to do is maybe do we have any any warnings? I think I got rid of those, right? Yeah, so I think the first thing I want to do is I'm going to create a branch to sort of keep this code in like forever time. I don't know what the right word is. Memorialize this code. So I'm going to switch to winning. We'll call it our bronze code. All right, now we'll put pushed up and we'll never touch that again. And so now back to, why did I do that? Git switch to main. Okay, so we're going to rewrite this all most likely for gold because a lot of things have changed. Am I in the wrong scene? I had reset the window, but it's not showing. That's not great. It froze. Cool. Okay. So no, I was not in the wrong scene. Yes, it was broken in 2 ways and I fixed one of the ways. Cool. Nice. Always like it when that happens. Definitely a Monday today. All right, so I don't think I did anything to show off. I guess all I showed off was the fact that we broke here. None of this worked. Jim, hello. How are you doing today? How are the Mad Poster Scene ML AI coders doing? Well, we haven't gotten to ML yet. We don't have any. I guess technically you can consider that we have AI if you have I think the thing is like 10 years ago, I could have just said that this was AI and people would know what I'm talking about. These days, I think that if I say I, most people would assume that I've somehow integrated ChatGPT into this app, which is not correct at all. Okay, so we have some new things to consider. So I'm actually thinking we should just start over from scratch. So we kept a backup of our code that's now in the bronze branch, which means now. So I want to just like delete and start over. Let's integrate ChatGPT. We have 100 milliseconds to respond for each actually, you know what? ChatGPT would be integrated by us asking ChatGPT what should the strategy be. That would be the way to integrate ChatGPT. Pika, hello. How are you doing today? Hello, Mr. No longer doing Axum courses. If you count what I was doing this morning as a course, which I guess it's not really long, I would consider that a follow along. So yeah, I'm not doing it right now. It's on hold until 1.0 things happen. Okay, so should we just restart with everything and start from scratch? Like just remove main. Aluminium. Hello. How are you doing today? rm-rf slash complete blank slate. That would be a complete blank slate. So I guess technically no. We're just a partial blank slate. Okay, let's now there was a bundler, which I forgot the name of it. What was that called? It was like bundle. No, not bundler. To each, hello. How are you doing? Ooh, okay. Create a single source file version of a cargo package. I think this was it. Replaces extern crate mylib and main.rs with the contents of lib.rs. But wait a second. Is this gonna? Maybe? Okay, so I install bundler. Is Zilby around? So I brought Zilby down here. I gave him food. He came down, he ate the food. I mostly closed the door, and he was very upset that I closed him in here. And so he demanded that I let him out, and so he left. I don't know where he is right now. Which league? We skipped Silver League, and now we're in Gold. So we have to rewrite because our code isn't compatible in any way whatsoever. But yeah, thanks for all the help. It was great. Okay, so if we have this, so theoretically, run bundle path to project output rs. Okay, so let's do some tests here. So if I touch like lib.rs, if I touch like other.rs, we go into lib and we mod other. If we have like something like a pub function like run, let's say, let's go to other pub function, do the thing. From here, we're going to call do the thing. From main, we're going to call run. Okay, so if I do all of that, now I want to call bundler. Cool, it does not have a -h. Oh, it's bundle, not bundler. This explains why I try to do Ruby stuff. Bundle, and then path to project. So probably want to cd out. Let's do bundle dot, and then let's put to test.rs. Cool. Could not find dot. All right, that's what was in test. It's not exactly what we were going for. How about bundle source main to test? Could not find command. I would have thought that dot would have worked. Albert, you're heading to sleep. Well, thank you very much for hanging out for a little bit, and have a great sleep. Why is it that 50% of the time instructions don't work? Because a lot of the time people write their instructions and then write more code and then don't write more instructions. I wonder if you could be dot slash. I wonder if it needed like, so I'm in the base of the project. So wait, it needs to be a command? What are you? Are you? Oh. Okay. That would explain it. I'm not running this command because it's named the same thing as something else a little bit higher in my path. Where did you install? Like probably in cargo. Oh, so that didn't work at all. That gave me main, but didn't like put it all together. What about? No, it doesn't like that. Yeah, so if I give it the current project, it gives me the output of main, it gives me the run, but it doesn't like put everything together. Which is the point of something like this. Oh, it replaces the extern crate mylib. Okay, so I need... What did I call this? This is... Okay. Expanding mod. Okay, so mod other, do the thing. Pub function run, do the thing. Okay, so this will work. What I do need to do is figure... Okay, so I need cargo bin to be higher in my path than user bin. Okay, so we have home bin, user local bin, whatever path was before, opt homebrew bin. Oh, I don't have any of these. Let's put it in front of here. This is going to be home cargo bin with all that. There we go. Okay, now it's at the top of our path now. Tea Kettle, hello. You'd make an alias so you can still use Ruby Bunder too. I mean, that would be the smart thing to do. What's most likely going to happen regardless is in the future, I'll be like, I need to run this thing. Oh, wait, why does it run? And then we'll just go back and forth and do that again. But I haven't done Ruby in a very long time. So I don't necessarily feel the need to go and like figure out something for that yet. I'll just let myself run into the problem later and rediscover this. And if I'm live when that happens, you can all yell at me and tell me that you told me so. Okay, so the bundle thing seems to work. Deal? All right, perfect. It's interesting when we live stream, we have the ability to tell our future selves in video form, I don't care what you feel, I'm doing this anyways, and then we can feel bad about being mean to ourselves later. Jim, how do we make it from bronze to gold so quick? So we got a little bit of help last week. Two Each was helping us and gave us some advice. Now, we had tried to do a little bit of that before, but we didn't know, we didn't just have the right like thought process, so I abandoned it. I didn't even think about it again. But basically, we just undid and like steered the opposite direction towards the towards exactly where the target we were going for, and that was it. That was all we needed to do. Aluminum, thank you so much for hanging out, and have a great rest of your day. So with just an oversteer towards the center, and that was it, that meant that we were, I guess, like with a little bit of boosting help, we just destroyed not only Bronze League, we then destroyed Silver League. And so we didn't make any changes for it. We're just straight into gold now. All right, so we have that set up, which means I can remove the source, other, we have the library, we can play around with it. Okay, so here's where we're starting. And let's take a look. I took a look at this really quickly, but didn't really pay that much attention. So in the Silver League, apparently the only big change was that we got access to shields. And a shield, so wherever it talks about shields is basically what we had gotten in Silver League. And that was it. I think that was the big difference. And now this is a bigger than normal difference for it. Like it's a bigger jump up. So let's go through this. Okay, you now control 2 pods instead of 1. Additionally, you will receive exhaustive game information to create a powerful AI. Okay. The I/O protocol has been modified. Pro tip, you can refresh the default code. Please refer to the updated section. Interesting. Okay, so we could load the default code. Goal, obviously, win the race. Rules. The players each control a team of 2 pods during a race. As soon as a pod completes the race, that pod's team is declared the winner. The circuit of the race is made up of checkpoints. To complete 1 lap, your vehicle pod must pass through each one in order to and back through the start. The first player to reach the start on the final lap wins. The game is played on a map 16,000 by 9,000 units, with the 00 being the top left. Yeah, we get 2 pods now. The checkpoints work as follows. The checkpoints are circular with a radius of 600 units. So this is the same as before. Checkpoints are numbered from 0 to n, where 0 is the start and n minus 1 is the last checkpoint. So it begins at 0. The disposition of the checkpoints is selected randomly for each race. The pods work as follows. To pass a checkpoint, the center of a pod must be inside the radius of the checkpoint. To move a pod, you must print a target destination point followed by a thrust value. Details of the protocol can be found further down. The thrust value of a pod is its acceleration and must be between 0 and 100. The pod will pivot to face the destination point by a maximum of 18 degrees per turn and will then accelerate in that direction. So they didn't tell us this in the previous leaks. So we now know that we can turn up to 18 degrees as long as our target is, as long as that angle to the target is 18 or higher. Let's see. You can use one acceleration boost in the race. You only need to replace the thrust value with by the boost keyword. Okay, so we still only have one boost. You may activate a pod's shields with the shield command instead of accelerating. This will give the pod much more weight if it collides with another. However, the pod will not be able to accelerate for the next 3 turns. So this is interesting. This is what we probably were supposed to, figure out next, last in the previous league. We didn't need it. So apparently we become really heavy, which means that if we hit somebody with a shield, either we will not be bounced by somebody else, or maybe we can knock someone really far off course, possibly. I don't know how useful the shield is going to be. It's possible that we will just activate the shield as a free turn off the engines for 3 turns. So like if we need to make a really quick turn, maybe that's what we just use the shield instead of some clever like, oh yeah, just figure out when, turn off the engine, pause for 3 turns, something like that. The pods have a circular force field around their center with a radius of 400 units, which activates in case of collision with other pods. The pods may move normally outside the game area. If none of your pods make it to their next checkpoint in under 100 turns, you are eliminated and lose the game. Only one pod need to complete the race. So theoretically, we could then use a one pod to try to win the race and one pod defensively or offensively to try to like knock the other pods, away. Like I could see an interesting, like if I wanted to go super advanced, which is always fun, but not a good idea. As we learned last time, we could send one pod to run the race backwards and try to just hit the other leader with a shield and just knock them way off, and then we just win. That could be an alternative, or we defensively like try to like just get behind us and like slow down and like knock everybody else out coming in. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that unless the simple strategy doesn't work. Anyone here want to help me understand how to use a state monad? Do I need to do monad transformer? I'm not sure what you mean by a state monad. Probably optimal strat would be to have one fast pod and another play in interference. I don't know if that's really necessary. It might be, that might be overthinking it and just getting really excited about the idea of fighting with pods. It's certainly possible that the strategy from last time and just be faster than everybody else might be the solution for winning. Tea Kettle, that discussion actually might be best on Discord because there might be more people that can see it like over time and then be able to answer it. Because like right here, we just have, a few people. I have no idea if YouTube is working or not because apparently my preview is broken. So I am streaming out. You're all seeing me on Twitch, which is, that's good. I thought I saw that you joined Tea Kettle, but I guess maybe not. Here I have. No, not at. There's a link to Discord. All right, let me exit out and try joining. Okay, there we go. That's much better. All right, I haven't missed any chats over there yet. Is it under the Brooks Builds on YouTube? Yes, it should be. I see it on the preview now. That seems to be working. Okay, cool. Let's see. So lose conditions. Your program provides incorrect output. We time out. None of our pods reach the next checkpoint. So only one pod needs to reach the next checkpoint at a time. And somebody else wins. Okay, yeah, that would do it. Expert rules. On each turn, the pod's movements are computed this way. Rotation. The pod rotates to face the target point with a maximum of 18 degrees, except for the first round. Acceleration. The pod's facing vector is multiplied by the given thrust value. The result is added to the current speed vector. So acceleration, the pod's facing vector is multiplied by the given thrust value. The result is added to the current speed vector. Okay, so we get a little bit more information. Movement, the speed vector is added to the position of the pod. If a collision would occur at this point, the pods rebound off each other. Okay. Friction, the current speed vector of each pod is multiplied by 0.85. So that's good to know. So that's how much we slow down if we don't have any yeah, that's how much we slow down by if we don't have any like acceleration going on. The speed values are truncated and the position values are rounded to the nearest integer. So internally they're using floats. Collisions are elastic. The minimum impulse of a collision is 120. That's the minimum. So if we're going really fast, we can send somebody way off course. A boost is in fact an acceleration of 650. The number of boosts available is common between pods. If no boost is available, the maximum thrust is used. A shield multiplies the pod mass by 10. And the provided angle is absolute. 0 means facing east. Oh, interesting. The provided angle is absolute. 0 degrees means facing east, while 90 degrees means facing south. Interesting. Okay. I'm surprised that it's not relative. YouTube is about 2 seconds behind Twitch. I've heard that that's what happens. I do have low lag or something like that set on Twitch. You wrote a whole bunch of code to turn all the angles into vectors. Interesting. Okay. Game input. So initialize input. So line 1, laps. The number of laps to complete the race. Okay. So we have initialization input. So we need to grab this and then we need to make sure like print all this stuff out and make sure we're handling it all correctly. Can I make this part bigger? I don't think I can. All right, so I probably want to have some kind of like function that sort of grabs all this stuff and puts it into like a config object. So I'm thinking if we go into our library, we'll probably want some kind of like state. I wonder if I'm going to want like a turn state and like the actual like turn information. So I'm not really sure what I want yet. I guess let's start with just doing this in main. So line 1. So we're going to have a let mute. This is, we get 2 laps. So we get laps. and then checkpoint count, the number of checkpoints in the circuit. Silby, you decided to come down. Oh, you're walking over here. Come on, you wanna come here? Okay, so you're a string new. Okay, so we get our checkpoint count, and then next. Hi, what's up? You wanna come down here? All right. A little bit of a minute-long cat adventure. Okay, so next, checkpoint count. Oh, next checkpoint count. 2 integers, checkpoint X, checkpoint Y, for the coordinates of checkpoint. Huh. So next checkpoint count lines, 2 integer. So wait, is this they have the number of lines? So like if this is like 5, we're gonna have 5 of these. Hold on, this will actually show me what's in, right? So, oh no, this doesn't show. Oh, they don't have like an example. Well, that's too bad. Here, let's reset the code, and I think it will show. So our laps. Okay, so it starts with centered read line, input line. Which I don't know if that's true, right? Because input line should be the first thing. Line 2. Next checkpoint count lines. I'm confused about this. 2 integers, checkpoint X, checkpoint Y for the coordinates of checkpoint. Kublayam, hello. How are you doing today? You went through the ECS course. You will try to write a done engine with it. Nice. Excellent. So you created a little ECS system to use? I think so for each of these, I don't get the checkpoint positions, do I? Which means that this must be the number of them. So I have to go through, so checkpoint count. So I have to loop through the number of these. Okay. So that's what that is. So, okay, we get checkpoint laps, which is going to be a number, right? The number. So, dot, we'll parse this into a U8. and then we'll parse U into a probably U8 because I don't think we could have that many checkpoints there. Let's now grab, okay, so this is gonna be what, read line? Was it standard IO, I think? Standard input, output, standard, what is it? You're right, I shouldn't parse the empty string. Oh, standard IN. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, IO. Standard in read line, there it is, okay. Okay, so if I do that, yeah, we're not gonna, what was I thinking? This is not gonna work. I want standard new, I don't need you all. Okay, so we get you standard read line. That's not right. Oh, standard in is a function. This is not what I want at all. I want that function. So we're going to call standard in. So I guess I will, do I just call this multiple times? I guess I just call this multiple times. Clearly it's been a while since I've done this. Mute. Okay, so first is lapse. Then we'll just unwrap you. Then we'll do the same thing with checkpoint counts. And then now we're going to convert them. So let our lapse, which is a U8. Okay, so we should have those, otherwise it will crash. And then, okay, you only wrote a few functions for ACS. Okay, so now you're gonna build a thing in it. Nice. Building that kind of game type stuff is always fun. Okay, so abstract count. Okay, so we want to, I need to loop through the checkpoint count. I guess what we can do is we can just debug out lapse and checkpoint count, because I'm curious if this is correct right now. Thread main panicked at called result unwrap on an error value. Well, that's not great. Probably need to trim before parse. I guess so. I thought maybe I would need to, but I think that's what this that's what this macro rules is, isn't it? So let's see, if I take you, this is parse input. So you're taking the raw input and you're turning it into the right thing, right? So parse input. So it's the thing and then the type, I think. So laps and like a U8. Yeah, that is pretty bad. I think we can do better. Let me see if this works to begin with, and then we can make it nicer. Because really all it's doing is just trimming it and parsing it to whatever the type is. So it's not really doing anything special for us. Okay, laps is 3, checkpoint count 3. Okay, so do I want to pull this into its own struct? I think I might want to. Create like a state. Then we'd have like an initial state for this. I kind of like that a little bit more. I probably need I need to create the state outside in, okay, so I'm gonna do pub mod state. Okay, so we have laps. It's gonna be U8. We have checkpoint count, which is a U8. We're gonna start with those two. I don't think I can use anything like error in here because it's probably gonna be upset if I try to do that. Or yeah, what happens if I just say like, hey, can I use error? Yeah, it's gonna say unresolved map, and I can't. There's nothing in here where I can say like, hey, can you please like. Okay, so no installing of other crates. Error is an error handling crate that I like to use. Think of it as a fork of this error, but it has nice pretty printing that I like. And also the creator is a Twitch streamer, or at least did a bunch of Twitch streaming, and I found her on one of the Rust conference talks. And she loves puns. So like that was enough for me to go like, okay, I'm gonna use that crate. Her name is Jane. Okay, so it's good enough for this. So we're just gonna crash. Oh, sorry. Anyhow, it's a fork of anyhow, not this error. I was thinking about the other error crate that you always need. Yeah, so it's similar to that with more puns. Okay, so we return self. Why are you upset? Because we're in plain state, not imping state. Okay, so we're going to do a... When we're initting, we want to get the lapse, so that we'll do the entire string thing. Grab you and take you out. Okay, so lapse and checkpoint count. So we get you out. Now to actually turn the lapse into a string, we need to, as you mentioned, we need to parse it. No, we need to trim it and then convert it. So we can do lapse. We can actually do this inline here, right? So self lapse will be equal to lapse.trim parse, and then we just go ahead and crash. Oh, here's a full list of crates on CodinGame. So we got Chrono, Iter Tools, libc, Rand, regex, and Time. Interesting. I didn't realize that we had access to all of those. But that'll be nice. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what... Well, I guess that'll help us with some tools once we need them. Okay, so then we need... Okay, so we pull you in, and now we have self. So that gets us the lapse and the checkpoint count. So we don't need you at all. We don't need you. We need... So we initialize the state as the very first thing, and we'll probably hand that over to run and over to the main library to run and do stuff. But let's debug this first. Okay, just to make sure we have... All right, so I can't just do this yet. I need to... How do I want to do this? I want to run... Okay, so it's the right bundle, so I want to do... bundle that. Oh, right, we need an extern crate. Create what is this? Mad Pod Race? Mad Pod Racing. There, that gives me that. And pod PB copy. No, PB copy. And then I could just come in here and paste you in. Okay, so we have pubmod state. We have pub struct state. Use state state. Interesting, okay. Oh, so it got rid of this. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, so I have 3 and 5. So in this case, we have 3 laps that we're going around, and then checkpoint count is 5. So it'd be what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 of them starting with 0. Okay, that works. So we're going to loop through that, not inclusively. Okay. So now we need to this is going to be the checkpoint index in 0 through checkpoint count. I want to now read line, so let move checkpoint. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so we unwrap you again. Logain, hello. How are you doing today? You restart from 0 in gold. Kind of. Each time you get to a new level, you restart from like the top. So if we take a look, that I am rank 5,000, but that's only because everybody above me is also failing miserably and crashing just as soon as they start. And like sometimes starting in position 1 and sometimes starting in position 2, it has averaged me out to around this point. I'm restarting from 0 in gold because they're giving us like a lot of new stuff. So, and the output is different too. It's like I'm pretty sure we're going to start with the same general strategy, but that's like not worth it trying to keep the code. Yeah, I'm doing what you're doing, is restarting from 0 with this. Plus also we're checking out this bundler crate to see if this is helpful and nice for us to work with. So we get different files for different things. You know what I should do? I should reverse this. Put you over here. And you over here. Can I make this? It'll be nice if I can make this go away and like have this fill up the screen. I can have like that. Okay, so what are we doing? Okay, so now we have the checkpoint. I want to, the checkpoint has two integers, checkpoint X and checkpoint Y. So I need to probably trim it, and we need to convert that into an X and a Y. I guess what we could do is just one step at a time, right? Let's just take a look at what we have in checkpoint. Oh yeah, it would have been nice. Okay, so I need to do this first. Okay, so this should work. Oh, okay, there we go. Copy you in, come to here, don't hit copy. paste you in. And so then the one thing that I'm missing is this use state. I just need to add that in by hand each time, which kind of sucks. Oh, I can't actually run this. That also sucks. Okay, we have checkpoints. Okay, so the trim will get rid of this. And then we'll have a number, so an X space Y in a string. So then I can, I want to split based upon the space, and then I can convert each of those to the appropriate thing. Okay, so we checkpoints, we get that. So that our checkpoint. Okay, split trim returns a new string, right? So checkpoints. All right, so we're gonna do checkpoint. We're going to trim it. We're gonna split. Add a space. Then we're going to into iterator it. We'll map. And then we'll parse it. Is there a parse? Oh, I don't think I can. So this will be coordinate. I wonder if this will figure out what I want to do with it, or if I need to tell it to be an, should I tell you to be an F32? I probably should. So parse an F32, and then we want to collect you into a vector. Actually, you know what? I can turn this into a point. We need to create a point. Okay, you're happy here, I think. No. So I actually want this to be collected into a point. Okay, which means that I need to deal with this. So then here I need to create a point. Okay, you're finally happy. Okay, so here we are on point. Why is Twitch chat not keeping up? Oh yeah, I created a branch off of my code, so I definitely have a backup. Yeah, we've done that. We split back. We took a look at that before we started, but we don't really need the macro that it gives us. It's not all that interesting, and most of the code that they give us to begin with isn't that great. All right, so we're going to start with a point. We're going to have a pub X, 32, and a pub Y, F32. Okay. Let's do a impl point. Okay, so I want to create a point, so I coordinate parse this to be oh, I see what the problem is. Hold on. I'm splitting inter-iterator. I don't want to do this here. I can maybe like trim it, but it doesn't make sense for me to split it unless I take like I do a from for an iterator. Okay, so I want to take either a stir that has like two numbers, or I'm going to take an iterator after the split. I feel I want to take a from for so impl from impl from for this, so we have our value is a string, so this will be the string will be two numbers with a space between and a new line at the end. For example, something like that. Not really, not a full strategy. I think right now I'm going to start with both pods, just try to race forward and do the best race that you can possibly do and just see how we go with that. Okay, so if I have that, we're going to, let's break this down. So we have our value, that's our string. I want to trim this. So after we trim this, I want to, so we got rid of that gets rid of that line. Now I want to break it out into a iterator. What is the next thing? It's values. Oh, like, okay, that gives me a split. Is a split an iterator? Yeah, okay, so it gives me an iterator. Okay, so that gives me the values here. I want to now iterate over these. I want to map them and convert them into numbers. So it's map. I guess this will be a stringified number. So it's a coordinate. And I want to parse this. Okay, so I parse it, and then we're going to collect this into a vector of f32. Yes, I know, we're not done yet. And then we're going to finally return self with the x being values of 0, y being values of 1. Okay, so now I should be able to go back to our state. Okay, so we get the new string. I read that in. I don't need to do any of this stuff. So let our checkpoint rewrite this. This is going to be a from for that, right? So it's going to be, oh, I should just do this for a string, shouldn't I? Okay, so then I want to do a point from our checkpoint index. Checkpoint index. Checkpoint. That gives us a point, and then I can push the points into here. So that's our checkpoints. That'll be a new vector. And we'll checkpoints, push, checkpoint. And then we'll store these in here. So this would be a point. Now you're going to be upset because you need to derive debug. Then I think you're happy. Unexpected identifier found keyword crate. Huh? I guess I am not using this, am I? Well, that's not good. Good. Unexpected identifier found keyword crate. Is that the first line in main? Because like there's the only place I use crate, right? Oh, you're unhappy because I brought point in there. Oh, so do I need to not use crate like this? Do I need to use like super? Yes. Okay. Goku, hello. How are you doing today? Congrats on making a gold league. Thank you. All right, so here we go. We have 3 laps, 4 checkpoints. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Our first checkpoint is, so that would be 0. So the finish line is 10546. Okay, that looks correct. 5991. Okay, that looks around correct. And then 1 here is 3569 by 5161. That looks like around correct. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, so now, so we've initialized and we have all the information that we're going to start with, right? Input for 1 game turn. Your first 2 lines. So your 2 pods, and then the next 2 lines, your opponent's 2 pods. So now I need some kind of like a run function. So if I run, this is what gets called, this is going to call the loop. So I need to, at the very beginning of this, update the state with my pod, so pod 1 and pod 2. So now we only have, okay, let's create a pod. Yeah, look, there's a source pod.rs. Why can't you find it? There we go. There, thank you. Okay, so for a pod, we're gonna have a, do I want to use position? I think I want to use either position or location. I think position's fine. And this is gonna be a point. Well, we learned that we can't use create like this. We have to use super. Okay, so we have a position that's going to be a point. We have to update its position every turn. Now, previously it was nice to know, wait, do I get more information? No. Okay, so I'm still gonna have to calculate things like what my speed is and what everything else is if I want to use them. Okay, so they're not going to give me that. They're just going to give me, oh no, wait. Oh, they are. Wait, hold on. So 6 integers, x and y for the position, vx and vy for the speed vector. Oh, okay. So then pub speed is going to be also a point. angle for the rotation angle in degrees. Next checkpoint ID for the number of the next checkpoint the pod must go through. Okay, so next checkpoint ID. Probably should be a U size, so it can index into a vector. Okay, so then what I probably want to do is at the very beginning of each turn is get like my pod, the other pod, and then we'll add these into the state. Let's see. So in the main library, I think I want to take in the state here. Okay. So that gives me the state. And then for each run through, we're going to update the pod. So I'm going to do something like my pod 1. And then I need to create my pod 1. I need to do something like this. I guess I need to initialize a pod. The angle is the worst thing you have. What do you mean? I haven't figured out, like, we need to look at it and inspect it and sort of like look at what it is and decide how to use it before we go too far into it. I guess I just want to initialize this. So if I init the pod, so this is going to be the raw, like the raw data. This is going to be just like the raw input. Okay, so we readline the raw input. We get that. That gets us a string. Okay, so a string. I now need to turn 6 integers. So string of like thing, space thing, space thing, space thing, space thing, space thing. And turn that into the appropriate thing we're looking for. So this is going to be, undo, I guess the same general thing that we're doing for the other one, right? I want to take this, we want to trim it. So we trim you first. I want to split this. So I want to get the input. So this is going to just like, I guess we're just going to do it here. So we're going to split at space. We're going to map. Maybe this should be inputs. Now, you should not be. The first and second. So this can be a floats. This can be floats. This maybe can be floats. This absolutely should not be a float. That kind of sucks. I guess I kind of want to like turn these into if I collect you right now into a vec of this is gonna be stir. Okay, so there's an input of stirs, and then I can go through and I guess we'll just create. Okay, for X, that's gonna be inputs of 0, and we're gonna parse it into the appropriate thing and unwrap it. Ooh, but you know what we can do? We can also get an iterator of this. Do I even need? Hold on. I don't need to collect this. And then we have an iterator, so I can just call next on this. Oh, wait. What do you give me? Oh, an option. Okay. Next. Unwrap. Parse. Unwrap. Oh, great. Not sure this is better. But it does give me a point. What are you upset about? You need to be mutable. Okay, so we get a position. Then our speed. Yeah, the angle is the direction of the pod. Yeah, it did say that the angle was just going to be like, essentially, this is the like the compass directions, like north, east, west, south, that kind of direction. So like, I'm not really sure what we're going to do with it. I mean, you're exactly the same thing. I should just copy and paste you in. That'll be fine. Okay, so that's the speed. Next is angle. That will figure out what it needs to be. So, and then finally, the next checkpoint ID. Okay, next, I want to, okay, so we need to unwrap you. I need to parse this, and that should also figure out what it's supposed to be. So it's all the same thing pretty much. Return self. Okay, so we have position, speed, angle, next checkpoint ID. Okay, you're happy, sort of. Yeah, pod is never constructed. So then we're going to go to our main library. So we're going to do pod. Okay, so my pod 1 init, my pod 2, create the next pod, and then I guess like my one. What if I just do pod 1, pod 2, oh, I didn't want to get rid of the 2. Okay, opponent 1 and opponent 2. So we get those. Use let xy degree to radians, sine, cosine. Turns the number into radians, then takes both sine and cosine. How... Oh, you use the cosine -1 function for finding angle, waste a lot of time on that. But I guess like what's the purpose? Like I can turn the angle, but like what's the purpose of the angle? I guess I'm not sure in like game terms what I really care about that. Okay, so we get all these, then I need to store these into the state, don't I? So you need to be mutable. Okay, so I need to take in the pods. This is going to be pod 1. Why are you upset? Oh, because you don't implement debug, right? Okay, so pod 2. Opponent 1 and 2. Okay, so then I want to update this. So I guess like we'll have like a turn. Or maybe like we'll call it a tick. Because like in my mind, it's like every tick, but I think they might call it a turn too. What do they actually call it? Yeah, they call it a turn. Let's do a turn. So how about we do like init turn? So actually, if I do this, I really want to... I don't have pods yet, do I? So these should be options. And then that way they'll start with default. Can I do that here? No, I can't do that here. So let's see, this will be pod 1, it's none. Okay, so I start with none's there, and then when I init these, then I go back to library. Let's grab these. paste you in here. So we grab you in, and then we'll do self dot pod1 equals pod1 dot pod. Oh, but you need to be a sum. Okay, so wait, so collect 2, search for 2, search for 2. Wait, why can't I do that? Okay, search. Oh, because I'm searching for 1. That's why. Change to 2. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. All right, so then you are. Oh, I need to do this like that. Search for pod. Change opponent. Okay. So now we have, okay, so init turn, now we have our opponents, the beginning of each turn. Yeah, no, I don't need a derived default. I just did that. Okay, so you can know if your pod is facing the right direction. For doing an exam, do like in bronze, silver, angle is greater than 90, speed equals 0. Wait, but I thought it was absolute in terms of the map. Is it absolute, but in terms of the next checkpoint? Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna print it out, so we'll see what it does. Okay, so we have you. Yeah, in lower leagues it was relative to the next checkpoint. Now it's absolute to the map. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So like, I don't really know what absolute to map really gives me. Okay, so we init turn, we do that. Okay, so we run you now in main. Okay, so we run state. For that, we want to do state dot init the turn. So okay, we init each turn. I don't need the pod here. So now I want to just let's just debug the state and double check that we have everything set up the way we expect it to. What are you upset about? Borrow move value. Yes, I want to. Interesting. Why do you? I don't want to take ownership out. Basically, I just want to run this each time through. Like, I don't want to give ownership to the loop. Let's see. Isn't there like a ref mute? What? Oh, can I just do that? No. It won't let me do that. I don't think I want borrow mute. I never used the shield. Seems we will need the angle calculations you worked on last time. Okay. I think I still have them. I definitely have them in GitHub. Let's see. Okay, borrow move value state. How do I not borrow in here? Like, I would love to basically just do something like that, but that won't. Oh, wait. It's this, isn't it? It's my debug. It's my debug. Okay. No, I don't copy that. Okay, so we exit out, and we're going to do our bundle pb copy. Ooh, now it has the use state. Okay, so now we're good to go. Okay, so after one turn, we have our checkpoints. We have our pod 1. So we have our pod 1, we have our pod 2, we have our opponent. Okay, interesting. So angle is -1. Wait, really? Angle is -1. That's certainly not what I've expected it to be. Okay. Juice, hello. How are you doing today? Oh, that's an error about the first round. Okay, so we won't pay attention to it yet. All right, so now that we've got all the information that we need, or at least right now, what's our output supposed to be? 2 lines, 2 integers for the target coordinates of your pod, followed by thrust. And 1 line per pod. Okay, so if I assume that line 1 corresponds to pod 1 here. And then line 2 is the second pod always. Nice, excellent. For me, we're doing pretty good. We got into gold leagues. That's always nice. All right, so we need to figure out where are we going. So how do we calculate that? Well, we know the next direction we're going. So what if we just cheat? What if we just say, okay, we're going to do pod 1 first. So I want to do a print line. Pod 1, I want you to go to position 1, 1 at max speed. Both go at max speed, just ignore everything else. Okay, for you, we're gonna have state dot pod 1. We have the checkpoints. I wonder if I want to do something like pod 1 run, like you go. We'll unwrap pod 1 because we should have it at this point in time. We have the next checkpoint ID, which means I can go after the point. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I kind of want to do this in pod, just have like a go. Like run. And this could return a format, like a string. And then we'll just print that out. So we will, okay, so let the checkpoint that we're going after, which means we need, I don't want the full copy of the state because we're in the state, so I just want the checkpoints. Which is going to be a slice, so a point. So checkpoints here is going to be checkpoints of self.next checkpoint ID. That gives us a point. I don't want to take ownership of you. Interesting. This is gonna yell at us. Yeah, cannot move out of here. I don't want to move out of here. Okay, so we don't move out of here. Okay, so we get the checkpoint, and then I want to go towards that. So we're going to return a format. Go at my current, like go at max speed, let's say. We'll have checkpoints.x, checkpoint.y. Okay, so you return that, which means we want to then just, okay, now we're going to print line state.pod1.run. Wait, is it run? I thought it was run. Oh, unwrap. .run. Okay. Use of move value state pod 1. I don't want, oh, because, okay, so. We could just make everything clonable again. Too few unwraps. We can add a few more. We can figure out. I want to do an as, can I do this as like as ref? Yes, okay. So we do this as ref, that gets the thing, okay. Then I just want to do this with 2. Okay, so you do your thing. This should now move around the map, I think. Okay, let's see if this moves around the map. Okay, we are moving around the map. Now, it's not a very good code, but this will get us to the point where we shouldn't be crashing anymore. So we should at least finish rounds. And we're very bad. But we don't have anything else in here to sort of go with. So we can, did we lose? We lost, but that's okay. Let's test in the arena. I want to get something in the arena that doesn't just crash constantly, which is what we were getting beforehand. So we are pink this time. Our opponents are actually trying to be smart. Like, look at that. That's good defenses right there. That was an interesting strategy on their part. Okay, so we're probably going to lose a lot and not get very far. So I don't really want to stay here watching that too long. But you notice our rank already jumped up pretty significantly just by having a pod that doesn't crash. Okay, so we have can finish a race, doesn't crash. Doesn't do very good, but finishing a race is a thing, right? Okay, so first off, I want to take a look at what happens when we're playing. I want to see some of these some of these numbers that are printing out. Like, for example, that angle, I believe, is now global to the environment, right? Yeah, the angle is like up to 360. So that makes sense. And let's see, we have point. Okay, so our points are going around. That's good. Angle for that. Okay, great. We have our for our pod. Okay, so we actually have the speed. That's interesting. So it gives us a speed vector for the X and the Y. So what happens if we just try to do the oversteer thing? If we take our current point and we subtract it from the other to get the target that we're going for. What is it not? Oh, I have to bring in sub. The winning strategy, which gets us in gold. Yeah, I mean, let's just literally try that one and see if we don't do anything else, what that gets us. Because, I mean, think about it. Without doing anything besides just going as fast as I can towards the next checkpoint, I'm in 2,937th place out of gold. Like you taught us this last time. Why are we overthinking it? Why don't we just try with the simplest stuff that has one in the past? So that one in the past, let's try it, right? It's pretty simple. So if I subtract the points together, also, I just want to, because it's easier and we're not using that much memory up, let's start implementing clone and copy. And then I don't have to do quite as many references. Everything will just sort of be nicer. Can you do a little Twitch question mark for a pod? Keep it like that. Any other 0 to 8 because of the friction, and let's see which pod is the best. Wait. So what do you mean? I do. Tell me what the end goal is. Like, what are you trying to get to? For like, I get like, okay, 0 to 8 is the friction, but like, what am I doing with the friction? I'm like multiplying the velocity by that. But what's the point? Like, so I guess for me, I need to like visualize what the end goal of what we're trying to do is, and then then it fits into place in my brain. Otherwise, as you saw like on Friday, it's like a lot of moving around, going like, but I don't understand, and then it doesn't really happen. Your pod, if you don't accelerate, you slow down, right? So I get that. So if we don't have our foot on the gas, we slow down at a rate of 0.8 per tick. Well, a 0 to 8 multiplied by our velocity. So last time maybe we aimed for at 0.2 too far. Was the friction given somewhere? Yes. So the friction is right in here. Here it is. Friction. The current speed vector of each pod is multiplied by 0.85. So maybe we overcompensated the speed. Oh, so we slowed down too much. We slowed down too much at the curve. We could have slowed down a little bit less. Yeah, this would allow us to A/B test, wouldn't it? We can A/B test in the same exact match. That's interesting. I kind of like it. All right, so impulse up for point. Okay, so we do this, blah, blah, blah. Now, what do I want to do? I want to figure out for our pod, I want to get the new target, which is basically going to be when we're running, I want to get the new target is going to be our checkpoint. So the checkpoint minus the self dot speed. And then I want this to be okay, so we just go after the target. The problem with A/B testing is the collisions. Yes, that's true. And also knowing which one's A and which one's B. I would have to like pass in to say like, hey, you're the A and you're the B. Do this experiment this way. I am going, okay, so I think I did it correctly. So I am turning right. And so the next thing would be slowing down. So for slowing down, now we were initially thinking about, actually I'm running out of time because it's 4:29 and usually I leave at 4:30, so I'll have to go pretty soon, but we can figure out what our strategy is going to be for next time and write that down so I don't forget. Do you have the lap counter logic in your Rust code? I have it online. So if we go to GitHub, so in our bronze branch, here is the code that won. This won through bronze, it won through silver, and it got us into gold. And so we can come in here, we can see, where was it? So this was the code that did the lap counter. Well, I thought the most important one was actually the subtraction and figuring out what the new target was. Because that really got it for us. But yeah, so the lap counter logic, that was sort of, I'm doing this like double pronged thing where I have a state, and if I'm moving, it's just doing the moving stuff, and otherwise I'm tracking where I am. And so in this checkpoints next and like checkpoints add, I'm adding that into my list of checkpoints and then sort of figuring it from there. So here is that. Let's see. I assure you the most important is to not accelerate if you don't have the proper angle. Yeah, so that one was... where was that? That was... Yeah. If the next checkpoint angle is greater than or equal to our slowdown angle, then just turn off the engines. And so I'm thinking that, yeah, I think you're right. If we slow down, we could slow down more based upon the friction, right? Than on just turning off the engines. The other thing that would be interesting would be just also use the shield to slow us down. But okay, so let's so we have that code, so we can definitely look through it again. Okay, so we got all that stuff. Plan. New plan. I don't have any more questions right now. So I'll just get rid of these. All right, so the plan right now, we want to calculate angles for each, we want to calculate the angles between our current like ship, so between the pod and the not the current checkpoint, but the next upcoming checkpoint. Slow down if angle is big. And then maybe experiment with shield if angle is really big. Trying to figure out how to do it in JavaScript, maybe adopt some wrestling logic, but not too complex at this time. Oh, sorry about that. So the in Wood League, the next angle is the next checkpoint angle is literally the angle that the checkpoint that you're going for right now. And let's see. Oh, right. It's still the next checkpoint. The current checkpoint. Calculated and the next upcoming checkpoint. And the current checkpoint. So calculate angles between, I guess it's angle. Angle between the pod and the current checkpoint. Slow down if the angle is big. Experiment with the shield if the angle is really big. Yeah, so Jim, what they give you in Wood League is just the angle to the checkpoint. So if so let's say your pod is this thing right here. And let's say you're coming up on map 3 and your velocity is like this. So you're moving straight up like that. And therefore your angle is whatever this is. So like the next checkpoint angle that they hand you in Wood 1 and I would guess Silver is going to be this angle right here. And so therefore, as you move up, that angle is going to change and become bigger, a bigger number. And so therefore, the bigger number it is, the more you want to slow down. And if you're over here, then obviously this is like over 90 degrees. You need to slow down a lot at that point in time. Now, they've literally just sort of hamstrung us in the Gold League, because instead of giving us this angle like this, they give us like, I'm not sure what angle they're giving. They're giving us like an angle like that. Like to, oh, this would be like that, right? Because they're giving us the angle that we're facing. Yeah, we just stopped accelerating. We just turned off the engines for like 1 or 2 ticks. And then that was enough to be able to make a tight turn. Now, if I turn on in Gold League or Silver League, if you turn off the shields, it also turns off your engines for 3 turns. So that could be like if I'm going to turn off the engines anyways, like if I'm over 120 degrees or something like that, might as well also turn on the shield in case somebody is going to come and hit me. Then that might send them flying. Maybe. I might get lucky with that. I might also send my own units flying too. That's also a possibility, and a hilarious one. Does that help, Jim? Okay, sounds like a plan. We'll attempt. Surreal, hello. How are you doing today? Love the kitty cam? Yeah, the kitty cam is great. I love that Zilby actually hangs out with us sometimes. All right, so I think that's it. We're gonna go ahead and end it for the day. Is there anybody streaming? No, just me. All right, so we'll go ahead and end right now. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow's Tuesday, right? Yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow afternoon around 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time, and we'll continue working on this. And we'll see whether or not we can create something that's winning and getting better. Apparently, I've gotten to 22,682, and that's with no strategy whatsoever. So I have high hopes to get through this league without much strategy. All right. So with that, have a great rest of your day and see you next time. Bye.